experiencing anything outside, but it's experiencing my family. So going to see them, catching up with them. So that's my new normal now. Like before it was going out, going to the lounges, seeing what's here in this city and that city in Nashville, because I'm going to Tennessee and El Paso, let's go to Dallas, let's go, you know what I mean? Like I want to go to these cities and experience them and experience the nightlife and the day life. But now I'm just like totally opposite. And it's so weird to see that out of myself.
Hey, welcome to Travel Tuesday Happy Hour, where we interview dope people doing dope things. Today, we're on location at the Cafe Word bookstore in South Orange, New Jersey. And today, we have a wonderful guest. Tell us who you are and what do you do?
I'm Marissa, and right now I work full-time in property management, but on the side, once we're out of COVID, I travel internationally and domestic. So I do a little bit of both. Yeah.
Okay. And so what got you to traveling in the first place?
So it was really funny. So for my birthday, I don't know why I said I wanted to go to Bali for so many years. I think it was around like 4 or 5 years. I'm just like, woo, gotta go to Bali. Don't know what was in it, but I had to go. So me and my friends, we traveled there for the first time. I had never traveled like internationally ever before, all domestic, but I used to travel. So I got my passport in March and then my birthday was in July. So I was like, okay, let's do our research. Let's do our homework. Where do we want to stay? What do we want to do? They didn't want to go just solely to Bali. They wanted to go to Southeast Asia. So they wanted to go to Thailand, to Vietnam, you know, and all those places. So that's what we did. So we found more expensive, hotels, I would say, and villas for Vietnam and for Bali. And then we just stayed at, you know, some Airbnbs in Bangkok and things like that. But that's how I got started. I just wanted to travel for my birthday for 4 or 5 years. And so I just did it.
So for your first trip, you pretty much done seen, 4 or 5 countries in Southeast Asia?
I did.
That's amazing.
I
See,
know. It was so great.
Those are the type of trips I like, right? Let's bang out a couple countries at one time and then, you know, go from there. So of all the countries, which one did you feel like resonated with you best?
Ooh, surprisingly, it was Vietnam.
Really? So yes. I need to hear this story. Tell me about Vietnam.
Right? So Ha Long Bay, like going for that day trip to just go and see the islands. I don't know why it connected with me so well, but I guess it was just the tour guide that I was with. He was just very personable and we just got to know each other on a different level. And then just seeing the beautiful sights, seeing the beautiful people there, you know what I mean? And just getting cultured with it. Like it was an amazing experience. I can't stress it enough. I know Vietnam is not on everybody's list, but it needs to be. It honestly needs to be. It's just so much to see. And it's just a beautiful sight everywhere you go. You are going to see the ruins and things of that nature, but you have to understand the history behind it. So I would say go to the museums as well. Don't just sightsee, I would say, but actually learn about the culture and immerse yourself in it a little bit. And it was amazing. So I don't regret that.
Nice. So that kind of overshadowed your actual desired destination. And so what did you think of that? What did you think of Bali over Vietnam?
Bali was dope, but I feel like I stayed in a villa and it was far away from everything. So I'm just like, okay, what do I do? Where do I go? Like, I should have like researched a little bit more of the transportation aspect of it because they don't really have like, you know, their Uber out there, which would be their Grab car, you know, like you have like internationally. So I was just a little stuck after I got into the villa. But I did get transportation from one of the sites. I went to go see, I wouldn't recommend this, so don't take this as a recommendation, but I went to an elephant sanctuary. And so they had transportation to get us back and forth to the villa. So yeah, it was nice. It was cool. It was a chill time, but Bali doesn't have my heart like Vietnam has my heart for some reason.
So Bali, Vietnam, where else did you go?
We went to Thailand and another place, which is, I don't know why it's slipping. We went to 4 places, I know that. But the other place, obviously, it wasn't memorable for some reason. But
Clearly, so that's the bottom of the 4. So what would you say? So it's Thailand, it's Vietnam.
Yes.
Then you would say Bali and Thailand, or Thailand and Bali?
Thailand and Bali, for sure.
Wow.
I know.
So what about Thailand that has Bali beat?
I think because I hung on to somebody that like I met during like, just a little outing, and they took me around like the real Thailand. So to go to the food markets, to go to like their outdoor, shopping centers and things of that nature, I really just fell in love with the food because I'm a foodie. So they're, everything that they had like locally, like I just got to know that on a different level than I did in Bali. Like Bali, I was only there for a day and a half, surprisingly, even though it was my birthday trip. Like we only planned it for a day and a half. So I really didn't get to see Bali how everybody sees it on Instagram and everything, with all the pictures and stuff. So I don't know. Maybe I'll have to go to Bali again.
Yeah, I mean, so the crazy part about that is one of my guests said that don't let your first trip be your bucket list trip, because it kind of will, it may not measure up to like the glitz and glamour that you wanted it to be. So that's interesting.
That's smart.
So with that said, what keeps you traveling? Like, what about travel excites you the most?
I mean, learning about different people's cultures, meeting new people, like that's like the base of my like traveling. Like I love to learn new things about cultures and people and just see what's out there. Like I don't want to stay like sedentary in the same place for too long. Like I really feel like I'm a nomad at the end of the day. Like I just like to go and just experience the things. Like that's just who I am. I've always been like that, but I was so scared to travel as like a Black woman because, it's just a lot of stereotypes when, people get to talk and they're just like, well, you're not going to be safe over there because you're Black. And what if they don't like this? And what if they don't like that? But I feel like that's anywhere. Honestly, that's anywhere. So why would I be scared to go internationally when I should be scared in my backyard realistically? You know what I mean? I don't know what's out here. Fear is anywhere. Any crime can happen anywhere you go. So say like, oh, don't do this because you're this and this and that. I'm like, nah, I got to see for myself. I got to experience it. And if I don't like the vibes, then I won't go there again. But at least I did it, So that's me.
Right. So let me ask you a question. Like, have you done solo trips or have they been mostly with groups of people that you're familiar with?
Surprisingly. So when I said that I went on my birthday trip with my friends, it ended once we landed in Vietnam. Some people you just can't travel with and you learn that along the way. So I did learn that the hard way, but Vietnam was a solo travel. It wasn't made to be a solo travel, but I had to learn how to get with it, once I was in Vietnam. So I booked it on the fly at my hotel. So once I, met up with the concierge and the hotel manager, like I just became friends with them and they showed me, how to maneuver around the city, what's safe, what's not, what places to go, what tour guides to go with. So I was in the best hands at my hotel and they really got me through that solo travel. And then I went to Jamaica and Grand Cayman, I think 3 months later, and that was with my family. And then I went on a solo trip to London in this January. And then I met up with my friend in Paris. So, I mean, I did do those 2 on my own, but, for the majority of it has been with groups for sure.
So you mentioned being able to just get that trip while you're already out in the Eastern Asian area. Like, Is it just easy to just, hey, there's a flight going out, I want to go and just go? Because I think a lot of people don't know this, right?
Right.
I think a lot of people feel like you got to plan everything months in advance. I know in Europe, you can buy your ticket the same day just to go to, from London to Paris, and it probably costs you maybe $100, right? So tell us how easy that was for you to kind of go between countries, considering you was already out there.
Definitely. So I would download Hopper and Skyline. Am I saying that right?
Skyscanner? Yeah.
Skyscanner. Okay. So download those two and you'll be set. Like those flights internationally. So say that you want to go from like how you say London to Paris or Paris to London. The cheapest flights, they'll have it the same day. You'll get like, it's not the best of the airlines, but you're going to be in there. So it does not matter.
Right.
You'll get that flight and they have it from morning, noon and night flight. So, I mean, it's really easy, really inexpensive. And if you do want a hotel, go to your Airbnb, see what's locally around first. Then go to your Hopper, see what they have on discount. Then, see around, check with the locals. They know where to stay too. You know what I mean? So go to a bar, sit down for a minute, compose yourself. If you don't know where to go, or say that you had a layover that was longer or you missed your flight or something, go to a bar. Like the people know, you know what I mean? Just talk to people. You don't have to give out so much information, but just sit there and ask them like, hey, where's a good place to stay? Da, 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 da. Do you know X, Y, and Z? And more than likely, you'll find something on the whim. So it's easy.
Okay, that's really awesome. Is. So earlier you mentioned what drives you is learning culture, right? Yes. And then the fact that you also feel safer while traveling versus home, right? And as you are aware, where we are right now in these times of both Black men and women aren't feeling safe just leaving the house nowadays, right? Have you ever felt unsafe or felt as a woman over-sexualized when you traveled? Or has that just been more of a thing of not feeling safe while you're at home, which is why a lot of us retreat to go elsewhere?
Exactly. So I retreated to go elsewhere, definitely. So, I mean, I feel safe. I would say 99% of the time when I'm traveling internationally, I don't feel like anybody is coming up to me.
Yeah, so keep your charger on, keep the internet on, stop downloading from Napster, and you'll be good to go. You know what I mean?
Right,
So I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to get that from you all over again.
Okay. So where was I? Was I talking about traveling?
So traveling while Black. Yeah, traveling while Black.
Traveling while Black. Okay. So I guess I'll start from the beginning.
Right.
So when I was in Southeast Asia, I think just they idolize. I don't know if idolize is the right word, but I mean, they see your ethnicity and your skin tone and they want to take pictures. They want to touch you. They want to see your hair, things of that nature. And I'm just like, not the type of person that, likes people to invade my space, regardless if I'm traveling internationally or domestically. I love my little personal space. So, I mean, you'll get that. But have I ever felt threatened? Have I ever felt unsafe in any of the countries? No, I can honestly say that. 99% of the time, I feel safer there than I do at home. Like, I don't feel like my ethnicity is something that people feel threatened by when I go somewhere else. And I see other people of my ethnicity and we're talking and we're, smiling and vibing and saying, hey, where are you from? Hey, there's another Black person. You know what I mean? Like, we're linking up internationally. Right. And when I'm back in the States, it's another thing. There's so much turmoil. There's so many events that are happening day by day by day. And it's just like, where do we go? Where can we go? And then COVID happened, and then it's almost like you're stuck. There is no retreat. You can't go anywhere. What do we do now that we want to travel? We want to get out of this place, of just being, threatened on a daily, just for our skin tone. Where can we go? What can we do? And we're stuck. I don't want to say we're stuck because we're not stuck. I don't want to victimize us in any type of way, but it's just what do we do? Where can we go? Where can we feel safe?
So you mentioned COVID, making us sit still for a while, right? Where were you when COVID hit?
Ooh, I was in London. I just came back from Paris. I was in London and I saw a news article on the train. And I was like, what is this? Because, when you're traveling, you don't think about the current events. You don't care what's going on. You just care about, experiencing whatever culture you're immersed in. And I picked up the paper. I said, COVID. I said, what's going on here? I said, I called my mom like straight up. I'm like, Mom, what's going on? She was like, I need you to get back as soon as possible. I'm just like, am I supposed to be out? They're like, to be on the safe side, you shouldn't be traveling, internationally. So I came home like a week later, I do believe. And then that's when everything just shut down. And I just feel like my world like turned upside down because I was so used to going every 3 months somewhere, that was on my list. And it hit me like a ton of bricks. Like there was no going anywhere anymore. So.
And listen, you and me both, I think I have 5 trips that were canceled because of COVID. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I tried like outside opened up a little bit, some countries opened up a little bit. And as soon as the summer hit heavy, numbers start spiking up, countries started closing. I was supposed to go to Trinidad, Tobago for a couple of days, and then St. Lucia shut down. I was supposed to go to Puerto Rico, shut down. And it's one of those things where I definitely understand how you feel. Travel is therapy for some of us, you know what I mean? Right. So speaking of therapy, right, COVID made us sit down and pay attention to what's going on. It also made us kind of reflect on life. Like, did you find that you found yourself in COVID, or you kind of like, a lot of people, I got creative. This is a product of COVID for me, right? What did you find out about yourself during COVID?
And by the way, I just want to say before I get into my little spill, I'm so happy that you did this, honestly, because I feel like it's opened up, a platform for somebody to speak about what's going on, their travels, how they're doing in this time. So perfect. Congrats.
I appreciate you.
Of course. But for me, I feel like I used to prioritize work over me going somewhere or me traveling somewhere. I'm like, oh no, I have to work. This comes first. My work ethic needs to be up here. And I'm just like, life is really short. Like so much has happened in my life during this pandemic that has really opened my eyes. Rather than just the illness and the diseases that are out there, there was really like family, traumas that were happening. And it makes you sit down and you really have to reflect on these things. Like you need to be putting your family and your friends first and your loved ones, before any of this nonsense that's really going on, because there's so much in this world that's happening right now. Like you really got to get in touch with your loved ones, and you really got to do what you want to do out of this whole thing. Like don't let fear ever hold you back. And I think that's like the main thing that I got out of this quarantine, which I'm so happy I did that, honestly. Like
that's amazing.
It really opened my eyes.
That's amazing. I mean, the thing is, I'd be surprised to find someone that says that they didn't discover themselves during COVID, right? Either they were being negligent and just still going out and doing their thing, or they really didn't want to see the real person. Like, was it called looking at the man in the mirror type of scenario? Yeah. So, and it's one of those situations where a lot of us really have to sit and realize, all right, what is my skill set if I can't go into an office? All right. Exactly. And so I like to talk. I like to listen to people talk. So I was like, you know what? I can't go nowhere. So let me listen to people's stories, live vicariously through their stories, and, share it with other people as well. Because, like you said, when we travel, a lot of people focus on what's on IG as opposed to the backwoods, going to the local restaurants, the hole in the walls. I'm the type of person when I used to go to Miami Beach, I wouldn't eat breakfast at those big, long, restaurants on the strip. There's a couple, like you go up 118th, make that left. There's a nice hole in the wall, Dominican spot. You get some nice food. Those are the type of experiences I like to have. So as we transition and, each state is opening up at its own pace and then closing back up, how are you adjusting to the new norm?
Oh, I don't know if I'm adjusting that well. I don't think I am. But I'm trying to slowly get there. I have done a little bit of traveling, domestically. So I've gone to Texas and Tennessee and things of that nature. But honestly, like I said, once I got that perspective, it's not even about like experiencing anything outside, but it's experiencing my family. So going to see them, catching up with them. So that's my new normal now. Like before it was going out, going to the lounges, seeing what's here in this city and that city in Nashville, because I'm going to Tennessee and El Paso, let's go to Dallas, let's go, you know what I mean? Like I want to go to these cities and experience them and experience the nightlife and the day life. But now I'm just like totally opposite. And it's so weird to see that out of myself now, but I'm traveling more for family rather than going out for pleasure or anything like that. So I'm adjusting that way, but I don't know.
So you mentioned family. You have an ivy wall of photos. Is that family or is that just trips?
No, trips are at the bottom. So Vietnam, it made the wall. But it's my family for the years, for sure. And then I have my grandparents, like those are people that I look up to. And then, my dad, my mom, my brothers, and my sisters are all on that wall. And then my
that's
and my
awesome.
And,
that's creative.
Yeah.
That's a nice way to
I try. That happened in quarantine.
There you go. You got creative. So you talk about the new norm and traveling domestically, right? Since outside is opening up, let's say somebody can't make it to Tulum, the new Miami Beach, right? What are some tips that you would get? Like, what are your tips, right? So when you're getting started to plan a trip out, give me 5 things that you typically kind of check off before you even make moves to buy anything.
Right. So, make a list of your top places that you want to go, right? That's the first thing that you do. Second, research it. Go on Google. Go on YouTube. There's probably some type of vlog out there that you know about. You know what I mean? So go and see these places that they've gone to. Go on Instagram. Go check out the tags for those places. See if you really, really want to do this. Then if you see the tags that you like and you see the places, then go on to Yelp. Look at the reviews. See what people are really saying about that. You know what I mean? And then if you're on Instagram anyways, looking at the tags, go talk to the people. That's what you do. When somebody tags something, start a conversation. That's why they're tagging it. Oh, I was here. Let me tell you about my experience. You know what I mean? The worst thing that they can do is like look at it and not reply back. Okay, on to the next. You know what I mean? Like, right. Not that big of a deal. But we have all of these apps that we don't even utilize the way that they should be utilized. Socialize. Talk to people.
Right.
See what is out there.
Social media.
So I would say do those things. Yes, come on. And then go to the people that travel the most. So go back to YouTube and see what type of apps to download, because some things that are domestic are not international. Like Uber is not international. So get Grab. So you're going to have to do that. You know what I mean? Some places don't do Airbnb. So what's the next resort that they have for app-wise? You know what I mean? Just do your research and be smart about things that are going on. Don't get scammed. Do your research and actually dive into it. You know? So that's
I like that because to your point about reaching out, I know a lot of the people that I follow, they will put up in their story, about the places they just left, give you the good, the bad, the ugly. And then actually have made themselves available if you have questions. Now, if you ask a silly question, they may blast you, but that's the risk you take, right? So what's on your bucket list of places to go? So let's say top 5.
Oh, top 5. That's hard, but I'm going to go back to Jamaica because I was only there for a day. So I need to go back there. My family, my dad is actually from Accra, Ghana. So I'm going to go there. And that's where my grandma is laid to rest. So I have to go. Singapore, it looks amazing.
Crazy Rich Asians. Listen.
Yes. Come on. I'm there for the people.
Crazy Rich Asians. Let's go.
I'm definitely doing that. And then Australia, I want to go. I don't care what I got to do, but I'm definitely going to go. And then, I don't know what my 5th one would be. What is your recommendation for my 5th one? You tell me.
I say
You've
Dubai.
been to more countries than me.
Oh, nah. I mean, just a couple. I would say Dubai. I would say, so places I've been that I would recommend people go would possibly be Prague, Croatia, you're going to Jamaica, if you go to Ocho Rios, and if you can make it to the Rio is amazing. And Haiti, I mean, rich in culture, great food. That's where my family's from. And so I definitely, that's usually on the list. But I actually went to Accra for a year to return. Oh man, that was like, I will say, Ghana was the first country to make me as a diaspora feel welcome. Like, and I've been to Morocco, I've been to Egypt, and I've been to South Africa. Nowhere has the overt welcome of the diaspora been expressed like Ghana. Right. And I don't think it was just the hype off of the year to return. It was loving. It was peaceful, like to the point where I know people that are like, I'm going back, I'm getting property, and we're going to make it work. So yeah, exactly. that was that. And when you make it, like, it'll change your life.
Right. I know. My dad is like, you have to come. So I'm going to go. I'm definitely going to do it. I can't wait.
Cool. So where are some places that you wouldn't return?
Ooh, that's a great question. I mean, I want to go back to Paris. I'm not going to lie. No tea, no shade. If anybody's from there watching, don't hate on me. I just didn't have the best experience. I love the sites. The architects were amazing once they created those buildings. Beautiful. But the people there, I don't know if it's just me because I like to talk to people, but they are not very, nice.
Friendly.
Friendly.
Well, I was told by Germans that Americans are American friendly or fake. Like, because the thing is, everyone is not as friendly, right?
Right.
And so, it's weird because, like, I think we value the person-to-person interaction more than a lot of other countries do. And so, and I'm surprised you got that experience because I took my mom for her 60th a couple of years ago, and she extremely loved it. Like, she loved it, but my mom's like an evangelist. So Europeans are private about their religious affiliation. So you can kind of see when she was making people feel uncomfortable. But outside of that, people were talking to us on a train. People was pointing in directions and showing us how to get around. So it's interesting. Like, I'd go back more like of a couples type trip than like anything else. But like it is, I actually liked it. I liked it at nighttime. I got a lot of walking in. My steps were on a million.
For sure.
but yeah, I mean, I will say for me, it would mostly be Munich. Just cause like, it was one of those cities where it's like, you thought Paris was rude. Like, they will walk through you in Munich. They will like if it's two of y'all walking and you don't make way for them, they will walk straight through you. So, so it's one of those things where don't get offended if somebody bumps you. There's just not enough space on the sidewalk. That's what they say. You got to get out their way. But so what do you have going on that you might want people to know about?
So I'm trying to get my IG back together. So I want to start doing some little pop-ups on like my stories of like places that I've been before and just giving you the rundown and the recommendations. So I'll be doing that, and then I'll start a blog on there too so that you guys can check out the website. So that's coming up in December. So I'm excited about that. I'm working on it for months. So it's in the works.
Good things take time. So take your time, and so when you drop it, people will enjoy it just as you want them to enjoy it.
For sure. So that's
what's I want to thank you for doing the show. This was really dope. I felt like I was in Vietnam with you. I felt like I was in Thailand. You made me feel like I was right there with you. All right. Well,